Intern Queen YouTube channel, new background, what's up? Hi everybody. Today we have a little hot take for you guys, right? And so in most of our videos we're talking career and internship advice. Right now I want you guys to think about your future, right? Your future at work, whatever that looks like, whether it's you running your own business, maybe it'll be like me, maybe you'll employ people one day, maybe it's at your internship, maybe it's at that first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth job after college, right? But let's talk about this idea of only having a performance review every year, or with some people, every 18 months, every 2 years, kind of wild, right? Let's dig into that a little bit today. Again, these are our new 10-minute format videos, and just as a quick reminder, you need to subscribe to our channel because we have videos every other Wednesday, and I want to make sure that you guys get that value and you get that advice 10 minutes or so every other Wednesday, and hopefully I'll be able to do my job and inspire you guys and just give you some unique ways to think about that resume, that cover letter, the interview, negotiating, your future workplace like today's video. So make sure to click on our logo in the bottom right-hand corner, and that way you can subscribe to our channel and you'll get the notifications if you turn the bell on. That way you'll get a notification every time we post a new video, just in case you forget that we're on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday. Okay, so with nothing else to report here, I'm gonna dive into this video. So let's do a little, the mind of the intern queen. Okay, let's dig in a little bit. So I had an employee say to me, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago now, that she felt like work, and she had just graduated, she felt like work was a never-ending hallway. And that was something that really stuck with me. Like, she felt like she would just come in every day and like just for the next 100 years, it was gonna be the same thing in that same tunnel or that same hallway, just doing the same thing every day. And again, it stuck with me because I'm talking about it to you all so many years later. But just this concept of feeling like you're going nowhere at work, I was really able to connect with and have compassion for and try my best to understand, since I am in a different position, being the employer and the one making the hiring and firing decisions. I'm also in a different position because it's my business, it's my baby of sorts. I'm challenged by my business every day. And when you run a business versus when you work at a business, it's just a different mindset, right? So again, that hallway analogy really stuck with me. And we also used to do performance reviews, maybe once a year, something like that. And I felt like if you're only getting a performance review once a year, that's definitely not going to help that hallway feeling, because you're not feeling any direction. You're not feeling any guidance. You don't know how, nobody wants to go like this at work, right? People want to go to like this, right? Whether that means getting raises or getting promotions or just getting new opportunities or challenged with new tasks. Like, people don't normally, right? People aren't looking for that same day to day with no nothing. So we changed. And I'm an employer. I run a company with about 10 full-time people. I can shift and change a lot faster than a big corporation with thousands and thousands of team members. So while I'm going to give my take today, I do want everyone to listen to this with a grain of salt, because I know that companies cannot make changes that fast, and I know it takes time and there's approval processes. But I think it's important for employers like me to be a little extreme on things like this, because if bigger employers can just take a smidgen of this, right? And if they can start to make small changes, I think it will have a positive effect on employees everywhere. So let me explain to you guys what I do at Intern Queen and how I've tried to fix this problem of feeling like, ugh, I only get a performance review every year. So how do we do performance reviews at Intern Queen? Well, I will tell you. First, we thought, let's do reviews 4 times a year. But you know what happened with doing reviews 4 times a year? All you end up doing at work is talking about your feelings, talking about stuff all day, every day, because it's not just one meeting. There ends up being a request in that meeting, and then you have to follow up to the meeting. And before you know it, every 2 weeks, all you're doing is talking about work rather than doing the actual work. So we thought, meh, That's not going to work. We got to pull back. So right now we're doing our reviews. I would say we're doing 2 formal conversations every year, one in the first half of the year, one in the second half of the year. So we're doing 2 reviews a year, and then we have our head of operations or our hiring manager doing like light check-ins with people, just to make sure that things are okay, that they're doing well, both personally and professionally. So that's how we've really been able to, I think, do a great job with performance reviews, is just making that one change, right? Instead of 1 conversation every year, we're going to have 2 conversations every year. And then also implementing sort of a light check-in conversation, right? So it's not a formal review, but just a check-in that someone on our team does. So if you're in a position where you can make these changes, I'd highly recommend following a process like that for your business. And you know, if you're an intern or a future employee, let's talk about what you can do to make change at your organization. So you're listening to this and you're like, well, I'm not an employer, so how am I going to do anything with this information, Lauren? Okay, here's what you're going to do. First of all, I know this is easier said than done because many of you are watching this and you're already at your jobs or at your internships, but you can ask as one of your interview questions, how often is my performance reviewed? You can also say things like opportunity and growth at a company is really important to me. Is there an opportunity to get reviewed more than 1 time a year? Boom, put it out there in that interview, set the precedent, right? I think that's a great thing to do. And if you are at a smaller organization, or maybe you can implement change not at the big company, but within your department, I highly, highly encourage you to say to your supervisor, probably in a review or a check-in like setting, could we implement reviews twice a year? I love talking about my performance. I always want to grow, and a year just seems like a really long time to wait to get feedback, and I want to make sure that I'm changing and improving all of the time. And it is true, right? These performance reviews provide an opportunity for both employer and employee to get on the same page, right? It's not helpful if the employee thinks that they're going to get a promotion and a raise, and the employer's thinking, I'd love to give them a promotion and a raise, but in order to do that, I need to see X, Y, and Z. So that's some food for thought. So is there a script? Is there a great way to have this conversation? Well, I don't have anything scripted up for you today, but let's give it a try. Let's bring in our cameraman today from off-camera, Mike. Let's pretend he's my employer. I'm gonna ask him to rethink the performance meetings at our company, right? So let's pretend I just set a meeting. Hi, Mike, thanks so much for meeting me today.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I really like working here. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Of course.
Well, I wanted to talk to you today because like I said, I love my job. I'm trying to implement the feedback from our last review together. And I wanted to ask if we could have a second performance review meeting this year. I know we had one at the beginning of the year and that was awesome, but I want to make sure that we do like a temperature check every couple months, and that way you can let me know if I'm implementing your feedback in the right way, if I'm on the right track. I'd love the opportunity to sort of express my goals and just to make sure we're aligned. Would that be okay?
Definitely, I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you, that's great. Well, I know you're really busy, so since we met in January, why don't I put a meeting on our calendar for the summer, and that way we'll make sure to carve out the time. So I'll put maybe a 45-minute meeting on the calendar for the summer. I'll make sure to have an agenda ready, and I really appreciate you just being flexible. I know this has been your policy forever.
No problem, sounds good.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Well, that was my hot take on performance reviews, how to change them both as an employer and as an employee. And I can't wait to see what kind of feedback you guys get, and hopefully it helps you get from point A to point B in your career. Have a good one, comment here, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.